everyone, and welcome back to my channel. You probably recognize Diana here. We've been making videos together this month. I've got Diana Chen here from Unstoppable Domains. So Diana, thanks so much for joining me today.
Thanks so much for having me again, and thank you for being our influencer of the month. I'm having so much fun making these videos with you.
Same. And so, yes, we are collaborating all month, making tons of great content and educational resources. So I will link to all the videos we've done below. So if you're watching a different video in the summer on this channel, some are on the Unstoppable Domains channel. So make sure to go and check it out. But today, what we are talking about is it's a little bit more like rapid fire. Like, what are all the different projects and tools and different things that we like to use here in the crypto space, because as you all know, there is basically an endless amount of options and there are new ones popping up every day. So it can be really hard to sort through all that. So anyway, I'm really excited just to kind of chat through some of our favorite things that we use here in crypto.
Yeah, and I'm super excited to chat with you about this because you are like at the forefront of all the new projects. And I feel like you know all like the crypto wallets, the dApps, like all the new things that are happening in the space. And so I think this will be really helpful for especially newer people in the space who are trying to get more involved and dive in and just don't really know where to start. Because like you said, there is just so much out there. So the first thing I guess I would like to know is like if you're a total newbie and you want to buy crypto for the first time, where is the best place to do that?
You know, honestly, Cash App. Like that, I think is just maybe the easiest. Most people already have Cash App. Again, it depends on what they want to buy, right? Like I know that Cash App doesn't offer support for everything. But I think that that's just a really easy kind of first step. Another thing is to just look and see what exchanges are available where you live, right? So I live in Washington State, which means I don't have access to everything because it's a highly regulated state, unfortunately. But, I think every state has Coinbase. I know that every state has Gemini. If you're listening to this in another part of the world, Binance is a really, popular exchange, right? And so I think just even looking at, what works in my area, and then being able to purchase crypto in that way can be a really kind of good first step. And so what we talked about in a previous video was the whole custodial versus non-custodial thing. And I do think that when you are like brand new, like purchasing crypto in a slightly more custodial setting, like these exchanges we just mentioned, like Cash App, can maybe have a little bit more peace of mind because there is a customer service team you can contact if you need to versus on the decentralized side of things. And so, I think that's just a good first step. Either find a really easy app like Cash App or an exchange that works where you live.
Perfect. And so speaking of exchanges, what are like your favorite exchanges to use? Like if I want to exchange some Bitcoin for Ethereum, or even if I want to join like a DAO, for instance, or like a social community and they require some social tokens to get in, what are like your favorite exchanges for exchanging one crypto for another?
Yeah, so I guess on the more centralized side of things, I do use Coinbase, Gemini. I hear that Binance US is coming to Washington State, so that's exciting. So maybe I'll start using them soon. But honestly, what I probably use the most is more decentralized options. So I'm in and out of MetaMask every day. Like I use Uniswap quite a bit. For those that are really, excited about using the Binance Smart Chain, obviously they've got PancakeSwap. And so I would say that more often I'm using the decentralized options, but there are a lot of great centralized options that are starting to list DeFi coins as well, which is kind of cool. Like we're seeing Binance list a ton of DeFi tokens.
Yeah, for sure. And so then for people who follow your videos and they like maybe went and bought some crypto and they have it in their wallet, I guess there's like two paths that people go down. Some people are into like more of the flipping the crypto and like buying low, selling high. Other people are in the hodl or the hold camp where they're like, this is a long-term game. Like I am not selling this like ever, this is like going to be my main currency in years. So I guess for people in the first camp, like people who have crypto and are looking to sell it, what are like some of the best places to do that? Like, can you do that on the exchanges and the apps that you just listed, or are there other ones?
Yeah, that's a great question. So yes, you can definitely both buy and sell on really any of the exchanges or swapping platforms in different places that I've mentioned. And so sometimes you'll need like, so for example, if you're kind of new and you're looking at, let's say, MetaMask, and you're maybe swapping between a couple of different coins, you are going to need some Ethereum in that wallet to kind of cover the fees. So that's just another thing, like just like one more layer to kind of think about. Where like, let's say if you are buying, I don't know, USDT with Bitcoin or something, you're swapping it like, on Coinbase, like you probably won't see as many fees in that kind of setting, right? And so just kind of being aware of that. But yeah, any platform that you can buy crypto on, you should be able to sell as well. And if you can't, that would be a big red flag, I would think. So
Yeah, for sure. And then what about for the people that are wanting to hold their crypto long term? Like I know in a past video we talked about hardware wallets and how those are probably the most secure place to hold your crypto long term.
mhm.
So maybe like what are some of your favorite hardware wallets that people can look into for storing their crypto for a long period of time?
Absolutely. So I personally use Ledger quite a bit. I know Trezor is good as well. There are more like cold storage, completely offline options, like Elipal. Engrave is shipping soon. I'm excited to see that. There's a lot of like kind of options within that camp, but most people, I think, maybe are more on the hardware wallet side of things. So I'm a big fan of Ledger. One thing that I would say, especially as we get deeper and deeper into this bull run, and as as an industry continues to grow, is there's a lot of phishing, scams, and attacks, and it is very easy to fall for. They're getting better and better. And so even within having your funds in a hardware wallet, like always be so, so, so cautious of phishing attacks, especially because let's say you buy a Ledger, you're on their email list, right? There was the Ledger leak, right? And so a lot of those email addresses went out. And so just being aware, I think anytime you are putting in your passcode, your seed phrase, anything, downloading any app, just be as cautious as you possibly can. Check the Twitter account of the official Twitter account of the brand. Like whenever I get a phishing kind of looking email from Ledger, I go to Ledger Twitter, and what do you know? Right there, they're like, "Everyone, beware! This is happening!" Right? And so, I guess that was a little tangent. Sorry about that, but I think that that's just such an important piece of things. Is that it is more secure to use a hardware wallet, but even within that, there are ways you could lose your crypto. So just be very careful. But I also think that kind of coming back into more of a middle ground, there's some really great, digital wallets out there, or hot wallets, as we like to call them. A non-custodial one that I really like to use is Edge Wallet. I know a lot of people like to use Trust Wallet. Shapeshift is a really popular one. There's so many options out there. I'm a big Monero fan, and so I use Cake Wallet for that. I mean, I feel like I could keep going. There's just a ton of great hot wallets out there right now.
Yeah, and that's a great tip too to like check Twitter and do your due diligence. It's not hard these days to do due diligence because like everything is pretty much online. So it only takes a second, like just check the Twitter account, like do a quick Google search, and you'll be able to like
Yeah.
pretty easily verify if something's legit or not.
Yeah,
And so
like
then
the
like
one.
moving,
No, I was just gonna tell a quick story of like how like real some of these can look. So like recently, not recently, like maybe a few months ago, it was like, oh, we need you to download the updated version of the Ledger app, right? Like not to keep throwing like poor Ledger under the bus, but like, and it was like they spelt it like L instead of Ledger, it was Legder. And so your brain is like, oh, that looks correct. So anyway,
yeah.
they're sneaky. Be careful, people. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. And so, sort of like moving off of crypto and moving into the more creative realm, everybody obviously is talking about NFTs these days. So, for people who are into more of the creative things and want to get into NFTs, like what are some of the best or like what are some of your favorite platforms to go to look at NFT artwork and maybe buy something, um, help people out for like where they can go initially?
Yeah, so as kind of a first starting point, I'd probably go to Rarible.com. I mean, there's so many great NFT platforms, but I kind of feel like that's like the hub of like the Ethereum NFT community, right? And so obviously there's also like other blockchains have their own NFT platforms. Like I know Zilliqa has, I think, Mintable. Then there's other kind of more like niche kind of more like auction house kind of places, or there's places like Nifty Gateway where it's more of like a curated, like here's the drop of the week or whatever it is that they do exactly. Where I feel like Rarible is just such a good like entry point. Like you're gonna find things on, you know, all the way from it only costs like $20 all the way to, you know, I don't know, 20,000, like whatever it could be, right? And so there, it's really accessible feeling because there's artists from all kind of levels, if you will. I feel like it's a really good community. It's a really like kind of like welcoming place because it's not all like super, super expensive high-end art. Like you can just feel comfortable, like if you have NFT art that you want to publish, that it's going to be a good community experience. And but then also I think beyond that, like if you are looking to collect and to buy NFTs and to start browsing, it can feel a little overwhelming because there's so many. And that's where I think it's actually kind of fun to like follow, like find some artists that you really like, or maybe even just, you know, look on Twitter for like NFT art and get some inspiration of different artists and different things. I think the NFT community on Twitter is really active. And so it can be a really fun place to pop in and kind of get some inspiration.
For sure. And then I'm not sure if you're a big gamer or not, but for people who are maybe like into gaming, I know that is like a huge space right now for NFTs and just for like dApps in general. Like, do you have any recommendations for people who are into gaming for where they can go to check out some of like the coolest new projects in the crypto space?
I wish I was more of a gamer. I feel like they look like they're always having so much fun, and like it's really cute. People like ask me like, "Hey, have you ever thought about like live streaming on Twitch and like doing games and stuff?" And I'm like, "No." But that being said, I am a huge fan of gaming as basically a use case, not just for blockchain and crypto, but specifically for NFTs and this whole topic of digital ownership, which is like what you guys are all about at Unstoppable Domains, is help empowering people to actually own their digital identity. And like if we look at a lot of these games, like let's say like Magic the Gathering or Hearthstone, like you spend all this money and you buy all these maybe little upgrades or these packs or these skins or like different things, and then you don't actually own it. You know, you can't sell that. There's not a secondary market. And that's where I think blockchain games have been so cool to see. So like on the Ethereum side of things, you know, Gods Unchained, I think, is one that's become pretty popular. I have to give a shout out to like my throwback to like Splinterlands. Friends with like the founders of that for years, and that's a really fun game that's built on the Hive blockchain. And so I think that there's definitely a lot of just really great games out there that I think are starting to like have the capacity to go mainstream if they wanted to. Like some of these games look really good. Like you don't look at it and think, oh, that's some like ghetto blockchain game. Like it actually looks really good. So I'm personally really excited to see that segment of our industry continuing to evolve.
Yeah, 100%. I have never been a gamer girl either, but like since joining the crypto space and like interviewing people from the blockchain gaming industry, I'm like, this is actually really interesting and fascinating. I kind of want to like get into gaming now.
I know, right? I tried for a while. I don't know. Maybe one day when I have more time, I'll just like get really into it. It does look like fun. So.
For sure, yeah. Okay, well, so my last question for you, I know you've like told us about so many projects already, but last question. If you are somebody that wants to set yourself up for success in Web3, which is like sort of the future of the internet in the next 10 or 20 years, like what are some of the coolest projects you should check out that are available today that, you know, you think will really be like a really big deal in like 10 years?
So I know in a previous video we did this month, you know, we kind of talked a little bit about really the whole decentralized Web3 domain name system. And so I know that like, obviously, like, you know, I'm talking to you guys on Unstoppable Domains, but truly I think that that's a huge part of digital identity. That, you know, like we've talked about different social media apps and how they technically own your content. You know, like Twitter could suddenly decide they don't like me anymore and it's just all gone, right? Instagram could suddenly decide they don't like me and it's all gone. Same with YouTube, right? Where on your decentralized like .crypto domain, girlgone.crypto, like no one could take that away from me. And I can build that and I know I have it forever. Like even like my, you know, kind of normal domain name system website, lealivescrypto.com, like that could suddenly get shut down, or like we had talked in a previous video, like I, could forget to pay the annual fee and then suddenly someone else buys my domain and all my hard work is gone. And so I think really setting yourself up to have kind of your home on the Web3 internet and grabbing that .crypto domain, grabbing like your business's name .crypto, grab your kids .crypto, like grab that now. And I think that especially if we look back at what the kind of early 2000s looked like for domain names and how now that's a huge industry of people like reselling. There's already, secondary marketplaces for, hit my mic. There's already secondary marketplaces for these .crypto domains. And I personally think that that's probably going to be an area that just continues to grow, especially as more and more people want to have more ownership over their digital identity and their data and their content. I see that as an area of our industry that I think is really going to continue to flourish.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, I obviously couldn't agree with you more, but I
Right.
like genuinely believe in, like you said, like go get your kids cryptos, because like that's when it's really gonna, like this Web3 is gonna like really permeate into our society, is like when your kids are adults, like in the next 10 plus years. And so they are going to thank you so much. You're going to be the coolest parents, like the most cutting edge parents. If you grab them their first and last name .crypto, they're going to feel so special. So, well, anyway, thank you so much, Leah, for doing another video with me and for giving out so many good resources. I hope people were taking notes because so many good resources were talked about in this video. And I look forward to making more content with you.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Diana, so much. This has been really a lot of fun. Again, for those of you watching this, I will link to all the videos we're making together because we have really done a ton of really great educational content together this month as part of this campaign. So, Diana, thank you again. And yeah, I look forward to continuing the conversation.